Imagine waking to a sky full of airplanes and realizing none of them are coming from your side. On December 7th, 1941, that is exactly what happened at Pearl Harbor. In the space of a single morning, a sleepy Pacific base became the place America was knocked awake. This is the story of that morning, the moment that changed a nation. Pearl Harbor was more than a naval base. It was the symbol of American power in the Pacific. Battleships at anchor, carriers and patrol planes, ready to project force across thousands of miles. But on that Sunday, planes would fly in silence, and a surprise strike would rewrite history. Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 1941. A date which will live in infamy. It began before breakfast. Pilots launched, decks were cleaned, families went to church, and then the first sirens. Men ran from barracks and mess halls to the water's edge. Airmen scrambled. Sailors rushed to their ships. For many, there was no time to stand and wonder why, only time to act. Planes dive. Torpedoes run. Explosions rip the calm. Buildings burn. Radios crackle with stunned disbelief. Japanese strike waves hit the harbor with ruthless timing. Bombs on battleships. Torpedoes slicing through oil-slick waters. Dive bombers turning roofs into fire. Battleships that had been icons of naval strength listed and sank at their moorings. The USS Arizona, hit by a magazine explosion, became a tomb for hundreds of sailors. At the end of the day, the price was measured not just in steel but in lives. The attack was devastating. The damage was real. The shock was national. But history is made of people. Petty officers hauling wounded shipmates across decks, corpsmen diving into burning water, neighbors pushing cars and pulling survivors from wreckage. Ordinary Americans became extraordinary in the smallest acts. A hand offered, a stretcher carried, a radio operator who kept sending coordinates while his world burned. Small acts, big courage. Pearl Harbor shattered an idea that the U.S. could sit apart from a world at war. Within days, a reluctant nation moved from debate to resolve. Congress declared war. Factories shifted. Men and women enlisted in droves. The American response would be swift, industrial, and unstoppable. What if Pearl Harbor had never happened? Would the U.S. have stayed distant longer, or was history already pulling America in? It's a question for what if. But on December 8th, the answer was clear. America was in the war. The cost was heavy. Ships lost, planes burned, families shattered. But the legacy is also about resilience. Rebuildings, memorials, and the men and women who turned grief into action. The wreckage at Pearl Harbor is now hallowed ground. The names carved into memorials are a daily reminder of what was paid for freedom across the globe. Remember the morning. Remember the choice. Remember why a free nation reacted as it did. Pearl Harbor is more than a date in a textbook. It's a caution, a memory, and a story about ordinary people meeting extraordinary danger. If this moved you, tell us below, what moment in history made you rethink everything? Lest we forget.